Welcome back to Two Broken Thumbs. As you can tell, I have a better headset, and also this review is not 5 hours.
No, ideally we'll get through this quite quickly.
Yeah. James, how have you been?
I was better before this morning.
That is true. Well, James, we're going to talk about a film that's seen a little bit of controversy, and what we're going to
It
do.
hasn't seen enough.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take away anything political going on in the world before we talk about this film, because this film isn't really political. It's not trying to send a political message of any kind, right? So we're gonna do our best to talk about how good of a film this is as a film. All right.
Okay.
With that being said, Mulan Mulan 2020 fucking sucks.
Apparently, so far it's box office 37.6 million.
Where the fuck are you reading that? That's incorrect.
Google box office.
Nope. Might be more accurate than Wikipedia. Wikipedia says the box office it's made is $42 million, and it had a budget of $200 million, so it is flopping.
Yes.
So
honestly, I cannot think of a more justified fate.
Absolutely, because you viewers might not know, but James has, I believe, a sweet spot for the original. Is that correct?
It is one of my favorites.
It is one of his favorites, and I'm sure he was quite happy to hear that there was not only going to be no Mushu or cricket, well, no Mushu or gods or anything like that, but there was definitely going to be no singing. Oh man, he was just happy to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah. And removing music requires you to add things to the movie because now, well, there's a long period of time where the music's not going to be playing.
So instead, we opted to also remove characters.
But if we remove characters, then we have to add more stuff to the movie.
So we didn't.
Basically. So we'll do our best to get through this review as quickly as possible because I'm sure, as you all already aware, this movie is basically a fucking shit show and nobody fucking likes it. But it's our turn to shit on it. We need a good movie to shit on. So James, take it away.
2020 was a year full of difficult moments. None of these painful moments, however, were as agonizing as the 90-minute that one has to endure to get to the role of critics of this sad reboot of what otherwise would have been remembered as a Disney all-time favorite. Thank you, Omar Khan, for that review on Google.
I thought you were just like, had this mentally prepared, going like, this is what I'm going to say, and this is how I feel. Because that sounds exactly like how you feel.
Quarantine could have been made sweeter by a good movie. Unfortunately, none of those have been released recently. This, of course, being no exception.
Oh fuck! I mean, basically, nothing's good has come out recently, which is why we've been struggling to find anything to talk about. I only thought, hey, we can watch the movie and make fun of how bad it is, but it's not even like that kind of bad. It's just boring.
Yes.
Like, it is the worst kind of movie because it's not even, you can't even point and make fun of it. It's just boring. None of the scenes feel like they are connected per se. And they keep fucking saying shit that, like, they keep repeating shit. I'm just like, yeah, we get it. We understand. Mulan is the most powerful being in the fucking universe. I get it. We get it.
So, according to some quick math, each second of this movie cost approximately $30,000 to make.
How?
That's what happens when you divide 200 million by the amount of seconds.
I mean, that is true, but it's just like, I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck you get to that.
Listen, we may have said this before, but if you are an aspiring artist, whether it be YouTube or film, and you think that you can't make it because your writing skills aren't good enough, you're probably good enough.
Just make everything sound so vague that you're able to just get away with sounding like
No,
you're
just
being
try
pretentious.
things. You're capable of putting out bad stuff. Everyone is.
Yeah, of
But I'm
course.
sure you won't be as consistent as these people.
Yeah. I think we've already talked about at least my hatred for the Disney remakes. What they're doing is they're taking what made the originals great, not just the writing, not just the music, not just the story, the visual medium itself. They feel like because animation's seen for kids and it's more expensive, they go, "Oh, we don't need to reanimate something." I would love to have seen this movie reanimated. I wanted to see what it would look like, not in a new style per se, but updated. You know,
Maybe.
I wouldn't even mind that. Like that would be fine. But what they're choosing to do is like we need to make our films more adult. We need to make them look more adult. We need to make them feel more adult. But they never fully or fully developed that. On top of that, it's so cheaper for them to just make it live action. So what they're doing is they're renaming the film the same thing,
You,
making it live action, and then fucking making bank.
you can say that it's cheaper to make it live action. $200 million was spent on this movie.
Yeah, to make it look pretty. Let's see how much the original one was. Mulan origin 1998. Mulan 1998 cost, not cast cost. How much it cost to make it? Okay, fuck. I am incorrect. Actually, holy shit. It was super expensive apparently. Mulan cost $90 million to make.
Hmm. I wonder how that is when you account for inflation.
That is true.
But
So
with
90
that
million.
said, it made 304 million, so
It made almost as much as this movie cost.
only 10 times as much. Oh no, well, if
Yeah.
you account for inflation, it would have made way more than this movie cost.
Well, I can easily figure out what the inflation price would be. If you keep talking about why you like this movie, just the original at least, then maybe you can talk about how bad the new one is.
Well, I guess the best way to summarize this would be in the original, our character is very much a normal person, a standard girl, as it were, and she wants to save her father. So that's why she goes and joins the military, and she's quite bad when she gets there, quite ineffective, and there's plenty of reasons for this, obviously. She probably hasn't spent her life, well, she hasn't done much physical work likely, besides, standard around the house things, so she's already at a disadvantage. Plus, there are a few biological differences between men and women, so she is naturally going to be a bit weaker than everyone else, so she's got to work twice as hard to get just as far. But what's awesome about the original is that when she's told to leave, she says no and sticks with it and gets better. And I think we could all learn something about self improvement from her. Because this movie would rather put a character who is already good at everything but has to repress it. And the unfortunate truth of life is most people are not, they don't start off as perfect tens. We're not all born with excellent abilities and insane talent, especially across the board. So I think there's something to be said for working to improve yourself and get good, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. Working towards a goal is so much more satisfying than being like, "Oh, I'm already good at this goal."
Yes.
It's that whole idea of like, "Oh, I've earned this because I've worked." In Mulan 2020, she earned it because she was born with it,
Yeah. It's
and that's
very
the
weak. It is not relatable because the
yeah,
things that I want to do in life, I am not already good at,
absolutely.
unfortunately. That
James,
would,
what's something you want to do one day in your life? What's something you want to do professionally?
oh, I think there's always been a small desire to be a professional video gamer. That's not something I've pursued by any means, besides, just enjoying video games as they come. But I think
Right.
that would be an interesting lifestyle to try to uphold for a while. But if I wanted to accomplish that, I would have to quit school. I'd have to quit my
Mhm.
job,
Right.
or at least cut down on hours significantly, and I would have to spend hours and hours behind the computer training, watching videos of myself, getting better. And let me
But
tell you, it would
yeah,
just
go
be
for it.
so nice if, like, at age 14, when I started playing something like League, I could have just been like, oh, this is easy. Oh, I'm suddenly Challenger. Huh, okay.
Yeah. Imagine waking up one day and find out, oh, I'm really good at this task. However, if people find out you're so good at that task, they might want to kill you.
Right.
Not even kill you. Sorry, bring dishonor.
Well, that's what's
Because
that's the other thing about
yeah,
this. So in this movie, they've introduced a system of magic essentially. You've got
basically magic.
you've got your chi, which I
Well,
guess
not even
is
magic. It's not even magic. It's what did you call it, James, from the Star Wars series? Like
midichlorians.
that's what it fucking is. Like it has no. It's just like the fucking Dragon Ball Z power level bullshit. It's like it doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a fucking number.
I
But the
guess
movie
you're
treats it
born
like
with
it's
it.
so important. But no
Right.
other fucking character shows they use chi.
Well,
Like it's only ever Mulan they go on about how like, oh fucking you have amazing powers of chi. Okay, the fuck does chi do for you?
yeah, it's not developed by any means at all.
No.
Like it
It's a half-assed attempt to make Mulan a powerful female character, which she already fucking was, and not because she had magic powers.
well, I thought what was so nice about Mulan was like her personality and how she like persevered through training and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
She was the way I might be butchering my memory of this film, but the way I remember it is that Mulan wasn't trying to be like a bad or bad female character, or not bad female. She wasn't trying to be a bad wife or possible wife. She just it wasn't in her skill set. She
yeah.
just wasn't good at that type of thing, but she was better at combat. Well, not even combat, but she
Well,
was better at that sort of thing because she practiced and trained for it.
that's what's kind of funny. She wasn't good at the combat at all, but like that she
No,
kind of got forced into.
and she learned and trained and earned what she deserved. She deserved that victory. And this one, it's not. She's not bad at. She's not bad at anything. She even almost passes the matchmaking test. She just does something really fucking stupid. But we'll get to it when we discuss the film. She does
Right.
something stupid that causes her to lose the matchmaking thing. Not even lose it, just fail it. It's not her fault. It was an outside force because once again, our female lead cannot fail.
Right.
And this isn't us trying to be sexist or any shit like that. This is just how the film is made.
Oh, I'd hate this movie just as much if it was a guy character.
Absolutely. It's one of those situations where because they'd rather make our character what they're doing is they're going, you remember how powerful Mulan is? Yeah, so we don't need to she's just that powerful all the time. There's like 15 minutes of backstory before we get to the actual story of Mulan. Like before the first movie, the original movie picks up. Like none of it felt important. It was just establish villain, establish the emperor, and
Do,
then establish Mulan.
do you notice that we established the witch character?
Mm-hmm.
It just like in her second scene, freaking evil person is just like, you know why you fight for me. You fight for me because you want to be accepted. And it's like, oh, well,
Cool.
I guess that's not something we could have shown, I guess. Like,
Yeah, of course. Dude, James, you're asking them to show something? James, come on. People
I
don't
know,
watch movies with their brains on
I know.
it.
Brains are offensive these days.
It's just like if I had a casual conversation with you about something that we already had an agreement on, I'm not gonna turn around and go like, oh, I'll have to remind you again. It's bad writing. And I don't care if it's a movie. You can get it across without just going on about that.
You can like imply things. Like,
Absolutely.
so here's a fun tangent we can go on real quick.
Instead of talking about the movie.
So, yeah, of course. So one thing I hear is like, oh, you want to be told everything that's in the movie because like I'm always complaining about like plot holes or lack of explanation. So I don't think it's as important to like. So there's some things you got to tell and some things you got to describe. So like for example, like the chi magic system, it's like, okay, so what does this
Yeah.
do? On Mulan, it looks like it gives her like faster reaction and maybe like increased strength and dexterity. Okay, okay. Well, on the witch, she can turn into a bird or another person. It's like, okay, now I think we need some explanation. So
Yeah.
like
It's
to counter this, right?
yeah.
You can look at something like a predator where we don't know all the rules of how the predator works or why he does the things he does, but you can imply them because he only
Mm,
kills people who are armed, which is kind of interesting. He usually only kills them one at a time while they're separated from everyone else. And then in the final showdown with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he
mhm.
takes off his equipment and fights him hand to hand because that's how Arnold is equipped. So it's like,
Right.
oh, is the predator stupid and trying to kill himself? No, he's probably doing this for like a sport or to prove that he's the best. And there's plenty of reason it put in the movies to believe these things, and nothing really contradicts it the entire time we're watching the movie. It all
No,
lines up, and it's something reasonable that you could figure out, and that's why it's interesting. I,
another
s-
interesting thing
I
about
still
the
don't know the rules of chi.
yeah, that's the other thing about Predator when you're talking about the hand to hand. He's a warrior, from what I remember. They're a race of warriors, and one of the things warriors definitely have is a sense of honor and
Right.
fighting on equal footing. They don't
Well,
want it because then they feel like they cheated, basically.
well, that's the thing. You're never told that in the movie.
No, but we can assume that. Well, sort of. In the new movie, they say they are
No, 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 no,
serious.
no, no, no,
I mean,
no,
I'm
no, no.
aware. I'm aware. I'm just saying, like, but to the original movies, yes, you can assume you can piece it together yourself.
Yeah, and
Also,
there's
by the way, I am it costs 144,756,312.30 to create Mulan, the original
in today.
today. Yeah,
Okay,
so little less
so it was
than
cheaper,
the.
and it made way more.
It's cheaper, way more, but it's only like how much cheaper? It's only like 6 million cheaper. So
It,
why won't they just do that then?
okay,
If
but
it's cheaper to
the old
create
one
the
made
animation,
10 times the amount of the current one, and that's before you account for inflation.
yeah, I'm not even. Do you want me to inflate that one? See how much it made now.
Sure, why not? We got
All right,
nothing to
go
do.
for it. I mean, we can talk about the movie, but
Sure.
no, we can't.
What movie?
Basically, uh, oh my god,
Hmm.
it's 304.3 million. So let me run that through the calculator. 304, 304. But yeah, no, it's frustrating when the movie tries to act like God damn it. I'll do it later. It's frustrating when the movie tries to pretend, oh, you got the gist of the idea, but then everything keeps changing. Not the rules keep changing, but um, I don't know, man. This
So
movie sucked.
how about like so like in Star Wars, I guess the
Yeah,
first thing that we learn about is
the Force.
well, we learn about the Force. I
Yeah,
guess the first thing that we see is probably the mind control or the mind trick.
yeah.
And then after that, we see Darth Vader use the Force choke on somebody.
Hmm.
So it's like, all right, and
We understand that it could be used for both for physical and mental powers.
right, we see
Yeah.
Luke use it to like sense the droid that's shooting the lasers at him. So it's
Hmm.
like, all right. And then in the next movie, they introduce telekinesis. And then I think that's everything until we see the Emperor who's using Force Lightning. And that's like the big, like, whoa, this big,
Yeah,
boss knows this power that it seems like no one else does. That's interesting. And I think
yeah.
it stays pretty consistent. So, like, I think
Because
those are
it's
all
about how
okay.
powerful the people are. Yeah.
Right. Well, nice thing about all those is like they kind of make sense. They're pretty consistent, nothing like
Hmm.
out of the ordinary, and it doesn't ever seem like someone could have used something that they should have known, but they didn't use it. But then
And
in
we're not going to mention any other movie that did such a thing.
Well, the thing is, like in Phantom Menace at the beginning, they do like a force sprint or like a force speed, and that
Yeah.
they only use it once, and that kind of screws everything up because there's a lot of good opportunities to use that throughout the movies, but they only use it once.
And on top of that, then it applies that you can use force on your own body, which then means that you could technically make your force use force on like your fists and make it hit harder or something.
Or like make yourself levitate or something.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So,
Um, but we've been putting on long enough, James. We've been putting on this act for too long.
did you
We
do the
need to
math?
do it. Because the calculator's being a bitch. I'm
Ah,
not worried about it.
all
I
right.
can't do anything over a million on the calculator.
Oh, that's annoying. Well, don't do a
Yeah.
million then. Just do the normal number and then multiply.
You know what? Shit, you're right. All right. 304.4. Oh man, that's pretty small. I can't believe it only made $468.71.
Oh, you're going the wrong way. You need to
Wait.
go from 304.4 up to the current day.
Oh, right. Wait, can you see my screen?
No.
Okay.
I just figured out that you were wrong because it went the wrong way.
Okay, that seems better. Okay.
How much?
All right. Well, I gotta multiply. 489.6.
Million.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, there you go,
What?
folks.
Yeah, there you go.
But
It
anyway,
almost
and this
so
doesn't really prove anything because
no, it doesn't. But
plenty of bad movies make lots of money. But
that is true. But I was trying. The point we were debunking was my whole theory of it's cheaper to make live action,
yeah, I think it
and it's
can
really
be.
not. It
But
probably is, but this movie also had a lot of editing done to it,
yeah,
and it's terrible editing because they over edited. But we'll get to that.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, but we didn't actually talk about the fucking movie. So,
All right. So, do you want to call spoilers then?
oh my god, have you seen Mulan 1998? Congratulations.
If you haven't, you should. You should watch that
Yeah,
and not this.
you should actually go watch that right now, but not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, look for a good old VCR tape.
Yep,
Do you kids know what those are?
you darn kitsch.
But anyway, let's see. So, where should we begin?
Let's start from where the movie actually starts and not all this filler garbage. Unless you want to talk about the filler garbage.
No, not really. It starts kind of like the old one, where you have the walls being assaulted. Not the Great Wall, sadly, but
Yeah.
in this case, a fort
Hmm.
getting assaulted. We see that we have our shape-shifting witch. Yada da. Got our evil badman character who is bad. You can tell because his skin is darker and he's got a beard and his hair is black. Uh,
Commander Neckbeard, I believe you called
yes, quite the neckbeard on this boy.
him.
Lord of the neckbeards. So, we've got our Mulan character in her round village with her sister. Sister's a new
Hmm.
character who I guess didn't really have much of an impact on the story.
Nope,
Uh,
literally nothing.
right, and then we got our mom and our dad,
Yep.
and
Wait, no, she did. She had one impact, but
well, she goofed up her
no.
matchmaking, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay. Well, I guess I kind of want to move past this quickly because everything's pretty much the same as the original
Yeah,
until training.
but even then, the beginning is so rushed. Like it literally rushes past the opening just so we can get to the action.
Does it?
Eh,
Explain.
So the original had a much slower build up to it because we learned it went straight to the matchmaking day, and so we were learning about the village while they were singing about the matchmaking day. Um, and then obviously she fails the matchmaking, is upset. Um, I believe doesn't she then go to the temple for a little bit? Then the people come by asking for soldiers. Her
Yeah,
father offers. Yes, there is a bit. She has a moment of self reflection.
I
She
gotcha.
realized, yeah,
As
she had a
opposed
moment.
to this where she loses the matchmaking and then immediately the soldiers show up.
Yes,
Gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. It was just like they try to go, and we'll get to this, but when she runs away from home, they rushed past that as quickly as possible
Yeah.
so they could get to more action-oriented set pieces, so they could spend more time with them training.
Yeah. I wanted to share too. Did you see the trailers for this movie?
I saw one trailer for the movie.
I
That
feel
hunch.
like I saw one or two. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But they are all like totally action centric, and that really annoyed me.
Yeah, because Mulan, even though it's a movie literally about war, it wasn't a very heavy action movie.
Yeah. The
The
action wasn't
movie,
really the part that was important.
no, it was the characters in the war and how a war changes someone,
Yeah.
both for good and I guess for bad. A lot of characters really like realize, oh, we're not just fighting for a female, we're fighting for our country. Like that was Mulan's friends. Like whole thing was they had sang a song about how much they wanted a certain girl to be a certain way, and then realize, oh my god, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the most important impacts. Even without Mulan, those characters change because of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yeah,
need
they're all
Mulan to
like
go like,
jaded after that.
yeah, you don't need Mulan to then go like, you guys are just talking about females like they're property. You need to understand they can be funny and charming as well. And
Yep.
then they go, you know what, Mulan, you are right. They don't have any of that because it, that's unrealistic. Like you can't just tell someone that they're wrong and then they're gonna go, oh okay. Have you had fucking
I've been on Twitter.
yeah, exactly. Like you can't just go online and go like, "Well, you're wrong, and you should open your mind up more." And then they go, "Oh yeah, you know what? You're right." No, they'll block you. Like
Yep.
I've been blocked by so many people because of stuff like that. It's hilarious.
Yeah. The
And
classic.
the classic. Anyway, so yeah, no, it just feels a little rushed at the beginning. Um,
Yeah, I agree. And then
yeah, it's
want to talk about the Phoenix?
you want me to tell you how many times I wrote? I had a mark actually for you people at home when we were watching this. I wrote down every time they said bird or mentioned a bird, and every time there was a mention of chi. Or scene. Like these are just scenes or events that had a bird or chi in it. There was 9 scenes with a bird or reference to a bird, and then 9 times with the chi was referenced.
Gotcha.
And each one was like about like a 2-minute scene that they just wasted, going like, "Look, it's a CGI bird."
Yeah.
But you want to talk about the importance of So there's a new feature they added, or not feature. There's a new factor they added in this movie where in an opening cutscene, like even before the matchmaking, Mulan was running around and playing with the chicken, trying to get it back in the thing, but she was goofing off too much and she was causing damage, and she broke a phoenix wing, like a statue of a phoenix. She goes like, "I broke it," and her father. Well, she doesn't cry because she's a fucking terrible actress, but that's not the point. Um, she goes, "I broke it," and then her father goes like, "No, no, no, it's a phoenix. Every time a phoenix gets destroyed, it rises from the ashes." Yada yada yada, and shit like that. And I'm sitting there going like, "Great, okay. I only need one time to be told that a phoenix can rise from the ashes to understand the importance of the phoenix."
Yep.
But because people don't think, they're like, "Oh, we're going to nail this metaphor on the head as much as possible."
I guess to the point where we have a live CGI Phoenix that follows
It's
her
not
around.
CGI. It is a paper mache airplane someone made that looks
It
like a phoenix.
certainly looks like it.
It is so bad. It
At,
looks so disgusting.
at first, I thought it was going to be like a Mushu replacement, but it wasn't even that. It just like
Mushu,
shows up randomly and
yeah,
flies.
it like shows up and shows her where to go, or like just is there. Like it doesn't even do anything. It just is there to be like, "Look, I'm a phoenix." Like her father talked about how the phoenix protected him in the first war he was in, but like this phoenix is fuck all.
I guess it just flies around and shows her the way to go. And I guess that's protection enough.
No, it's lazy writing. It's like,
I mean,
how do we get Mulan? How do we get Mulan to point A to point B? Phoenix.
Right.
That's how you do it. All right, there you go. You figured it out. Good job, Mulan.
She's not going to be like good at tracking or anything. We're just going to hand it to her.
Yeah. Anything that she's bad at, she's going to have something that helps her be good at it. Sorry. So yeah, the Phoenix is like a whole dealio. And then time skip ahead. Father says that he's going to go fight in the war. And then he walks away from his family instead of walking back to his family for some reason. I didn't get why he walked away unless it was for dramatic reasons, of course. They have a dinner scene. He goes like, "No, I will go." And then Mulan talks to him, and he's like, "Oh man, you got a cool sword there. What do those symbols mean?" Yada yada yada. And then the suit up scene happens. No emotion, no like rain, no running away from your family in the rain, none of that shit. Literally, she leaves, then her family finds her hairpiece, and then that's it. That's all, because as you know, we already know this scene's gonna happen, so like we don't need to re-emphasize it. You know what happens here. Yeah, you got it. There you go. Good enough. It's shit like that I hate about these remakes. Not that I don't mind the idea of them. I just hate how little effort they put into the originals. Whenever they have to be bothered with telling the original story, they put so much little effort in it. They do like the hand motion, like the wibbity wibbity bit, and go like, "Look, it's the same thing." Like they don't put forth the fucking effort.
I think the intent is like, oh, you've already seen this movie, so we're gonna skip past that and just work on the new stuff. But it's like, okay,
Yeah.
some people haven't, and even if that is true, that's not really a remake then.
No, what you're doing is wasting my goddamn time.
Yeah, like, come on. These stories aren't that hard to tell. They're pretty simple, most of them.
They're not only are they simple, but there's a lot of room to work off of them. You can make the movie longer and add more stuff to it. That's not the problem. The problem is the lack of care to the original. It doesn't. I don't feel like you actually care about the original. What you're doing is you're reusing the original as a format and just building around it without actually adding anything of substance. In fact, you're removing things.
Yeah.
And the things that you're removing are, I don't know, the important things that made the original so good. God, we can't even get through the movie and not complain about a scene without complaining about the entire goddamn movie.
Well, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, it all is. It's every complaint we have now is for the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's just so. Sorry. All right, James, go ahead. You want to talk about her journey to the? Oh, well, actually, before that, I want to say, so there's Mulan's on a horse and she has to get to where they're training, but for some fucking reason, nobody like. I guess she just kind of appeared there. Like I don't remember. Not that she appeared there, but like she had to meet them there, but nobody was stayed behind to help them learn how to get there. I guess is that right?
I guess.
Like she
Unless,
just had to literally just had to go and figure out where they were all like training at.
yeah, I'm not sure. They don't seem to make it very clear.
She just starts
it,
to.
it is weird that she seems lost and like she'll die getting there.
Yeah, but speaking of that scene, she has an apple that's like really rotted, and like she holds it out for her pet horse, and then like the camera is positioned to where you can't see the apple in her hand anymore, and then like in the next scene, the apple looks like it's been bitten into, but like artificially bitten into, basically like not even like a horse bite into it. It looks like a human bite.
Yeah.
It looked really fucking bad. I'm just like, wow, you're not even gonna show the apple eating it. All right, whatever.
CGI horse, maybe. I don't know.
No, that was a real horse. They just didn't want to feed a horse a fucking gross apple because that's inhumane, James.
You can replace it. Also,
no, James is inhumane, and
you
as
can
we know,
you can like color an apple to look rotten.
You're right. But James, too much work.
I guess.
Anyways, so James, would you like to take over now? I'm throwing the hot potato back to you.
Sure. So I'm just gonna skip to her arriving at camp and beginning
Yeah.
training. Yeah, pretty close to the original. We got like a little conflict in the line, and she identifies herself to everyone as,
Mhm.
someone she's not.
By the way, her voice acting is terrible in this scene because she still sounds like Mulan. Like there is no attempt to hide her voice.
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
It's like you can see she's trying, but it sounds just like a girl. It sounds like I would immediately go, "All right, you're fucking, you're putting something on here."
Dude, what's going on?
Yeah, are you sick or are you a girl?
So, let's see. We do our training montage. I guess she like pretends to struggle through it because she's afraid of using her powers because for some reason those powers are shunned by the people.
Well, no, what it is that she's been told her entire life to hide her chi.
I
That's why
know,
she was struggling, James, because she was told to hide
but
her chi.
that's because nobody likes it, and I don't know
Yeah,
why.
because chi's only for warriors. Remember, they said at the beginning of the movie, they said chi's only for men. Literally, the opening says, "How could I tell my daughter that chi was only made for boys
Then how
and for
does this never
warriors?"
happen?
No, because Mulan is the best, James.
Gotcha.
God, why don't you get to your
Alright.
fucking head, dude?
I guess so, man. I don't know.
Jesus,
I'm just so
get with the
surprised
program.
that this magical power decided to be with a girl for the first time ever.
Yeah, it tried to be more inclusive.
Well, that was good of it.
Yeah, power to the chi gods.
That's right. Blood for the blood gods. So,
Wait, James, you forgot something
I
during
don't,
the
I don't even remember this
interaction.
movie. What happened?
Really? Don't you remember? We had a reference, James.
No, which one?
Cricket.
Cricket?
There was a guy named Cricket, and he was a good luck charm.
Oh, yeah.
Just like remember in the original movie where she had a cricket for balance and for good luck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of like
James.
the same.
Yeah, it's a reference, James.
Wow.
Clap.
Consume product.
Basically.
Nope, not what I wanted. Anyway.
They were doing the training, and then like they have to take showers, and then someone says, "We need one person to watch guard," and she goes, "I do it. I
Oh,
mean, I'll
yeah.
do it."
I'll do it. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to know. And that's like kind of a running joke. Because then later they're all like, dude, have you showered since you got here? You smell terrible. There was a small funeral for comedy before this movie began, by the way.
And about that whole joke about showering. As someone who didn't, someone who can't smell very well or at all, um, I have a big problem with knowing when I need to shower, and
Just shower
the
every day
fact.
like a real human.
Well, that's what I've been doing, yes. But at summer camp, we didn't really have that accessibility per se. Oh, we did, but I was too lazy. And I've gotten several times, dude, you need to shower. It's not like a joke you make. And yes, I know I'm living in 2020 or 2019, 2018 at this point in time. But even back then, like, there's a difference. Keep yourself clean, goddammit.
Yeah.
Fucking. Anyways. No, so yeah, the entire movie she doesn't shower, but like she doesn't look gross or dirty. She never looks like she's like worked a hard day or practiced or anything. Like she just looks clean.
Well, she hasn't
All the
really.
actors, all the actors look clean. Actually, well, no. If you are failing, you will look more dirty. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
But none of the actors or characters, no, not characters, actors. They are actors. They are not characters. None of the actors look like they've touched a single. Like they didn't look like a single sweat at all. They didn't look like they fucking sweat.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
It just felt like it was so clean and kept up, and everything was just like, oh man, yeah, everything's yeah. You don't need to. Remember at Philmont, James, where we went to Philmont and when we got back, we were filthy and disgusting and gross, and how much gunk was on our bodies without us knowing.
I mean, I was aware, but yeah.
Well, but that's even better because you're aware that you're covered in this gross gunk, and we could see it. Like, if you're going for realism, at least go all the fucking way. Sorry.
I'm scrolling through it. I guess they got like some dirt on them. I don't
Yeah,
know. Their outfits are all still looking real nice. Their
that's the thing.
uniforms, as it were.
Yeah.
So let's see. Um, I guess it kind of climaxes with they're like doing some sparring with spears in a field,
Mhm.
and the romance bait and her are sparring,
What's his
and
name?
then they
What's his name?
I don't know, he doesn't get a character,
I thought
and
he had a name.
romance bait.
That's
So
right.
they're sparring, and she like kind of lets the chi slip, and they're like going ham, giving it their all, and I guess it kind of ends in a draw, and she like walks away, and then all her friends are like, "Yo, that was awesome, dude."
Yeah.
Um,
She literally leaves and like, so her boss and her two followers are what, two people are watching who are important, and she immediately walks away and like goes like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Oh, people are gonna be so mad at me. Oh my god! And then everyone goes like, yeah, you did it. Yeah, Mulan. Woo, yeah. Well, not Mulan, but whatever the fuck her name is now. We're like,
right,
yeah, woo, you did it, yeah. And then start patting her back. She's like, oh yeah, I can start using my chi now. And then she does.
right, because I'm a boy, which I apparently
Yeah.
forgot about. I don't know. It's so strange.
Yeah. Also, the way the fight builds up, where like she is fighting, or sorry, let me phrase that. She is sparring with the guy, and then as they are sparring, like they back away. But the shot they showed before showed that everybody was in their own little like circle or square, basically. So they backed up into another group square, but the other group just disappeared from existence, and then everyone just. Then they somehow went from being like at the corner end to the middle of the field.
Yeah,
It
they all
like,
and everyone else stopped sparring just to watch them, like
yeah,
simultaneously.
yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those scenes where they made an action set piece and thought, how do we get from point A to point B? It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
It. Sorry. Yeah.
Did I lose you? Oh, okay.
No, I'm just like frustrated.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I thought this would be funny. I literally thought this would be fun to poke at, but I'm more irritated than anything, honestly. I never even saw the original, and I feel irritated.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
no, I've seen the original. I've seen the original, but I have barely a memory of it, and I can still, even without any sort of memory, I still feel frustrated with this movie.
it's super frustrating.
Yeah,
So, I guess next we'll do then she finally goes to shower, and well, she
kind
goes
of.
and hops in a lake, and
Yeah.
then romance bait shows up, and she's like pushing him away because obviously, her tatas cannot be seen. That will ruin everything.
Hmm.
And he gives her a whole speech about how like you can push me away, but we are still soldiers together. We're still friends, and we need to have each other's backs. And I
Hmm.
will protect you. So let's see. You get that little moment. Scene with evil men.
They just are attacking something, right? I forgot.
Yeah,
The villains are doing evil things,
we
and
are
in
going
order to
to
show,
continue to attack.
yeah,
Mulan goes and talks to the general, and she's like, I gotta
and
confess
tries to,
something. And he's like,
yeah,
there's
she
no
literally.
need to be embarrassed about your chi. It
No,
is a
it's not
good
that.
thing.
It's no. He says like you're allowed to be afraid. It's not even about the cheat. It's about how she's afraid.
I thought it was both.
No, it was just about her being afraid. And what he was saying was your chi is amazing. I can't wait to show you my daughter when I get home.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you come back. That's the daughter was about the chi. He literally had nothing to do with like going like, oh yeah, don't be afraid of using your chi. That was nothing about that. It was literally, don't be afraid. Fear is normal. You're allowed to be. Fear is a natural thing to have. When like
Well, right after that, she starts training. I don't know. I don't remember the exact wording. I feel like
no
there
no
was
no,
mention of the chi.
there was a oh no yeah, fear was first, and then she bowed before him, and then he said the chi thing. Yeah, it doesn't even fucking matter. It
No,
doesn't matter.
not
Both those
really.
conversations happened in the tent, and then the fight happened, and the fight is so stupid. Like they clearly fell for a trap.
Well, after that, is
Sorry, go ahead.
when she pops off, she
Mhm.
realizes she can use her force to win
Yeah,
the training instead
with
of
all her
getting
midichlorians.
good like
Yeah.
the last Mulan.
Mhm.
But yeah, that
Wait, the
is
train. Oh yeah, that happened first, and then she did all the training, and then she got perfect.
right.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm already starting to forget this movie too. Holy shit.
Oh,
We literally just watched it.
I know we like got done watching it. I went and got some apple juice, and now we're here.
Ooh, apple juice sounds nice right now.
It is nice.
Yeah. What
Had
type of
need
apple juice?
need something to take with painkillers. I got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
No, it's all good. My face just hurts, and I look kind of like a chipmunk.
Chipmunk deck? Chipmunk deck?
Chipmunk, chipmunk deck. Not a thing
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, I remember it. Don't worry.
Let's see. Oh, next is when they go to the other base or outpost or whatever, and they find all the dead uh Allied soldiers. So you want to talk about why this scene is an insult to the original?
Yeah, I can. Um, yes, sorry, had to think for a moment.
No worries.
Something that the writers didn't do. Um, anyways, so in the original version of this scene, what they're doing is they're talking about a girl was fighting for while they're marching towards I don't remember where. Well, to the obviously to the battle. And they're describing their dream girl, the three uh, main side characters. I don't remember their names. You, James?
No, that's okay though.
Okay, but it's still the three main male leads are talking about a type of girl that they want, and they're describing it. They even one of them even has like a picture of like the girl that they're going to go back to when they're done with fighting in this war, which is you're like, oh, okay, so these guys have a reason to fight. Um, it's very much like a starry-eyed, like, this is what we're doing, we're fighting to help to go back home to see these females, but then it's immediately undercut. Like the song builds up and builds up and then immediately gets undercut. Music stops, everything stops, and we see nothing but just carnage. We see an entire village has been burned down. We see people are dead. We see people are lost, lives lost, corpses everywhere, helmets everywhere. There is no one left. Everyone is gone, and it is clearly a character breaking moment. These characters who we've seen at this point are all cheery and happy go lucky, which they do go back to later very briefly, but they realize that there's more to war than just fighting for a loved one or someone they want. It's about fighting to stay alive. It's about protecting their country. It's not just fun and games.
Yep. And on top of that, our general character in the original, his father was there and he died. So it's like extra on top of everything
It's
else.
personal. It's personal now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a personal thing.
And then in this movie,
Yeah, in this movie, oh no, it just happens.
they just like
Like,
stumble upon it
yeah,
practically.
they like they say, oh, we need to go to this next area. Oh, everyone's dead. All right, let's go find the Mongols
Yeah.
or the Hans or whatever the fuck they're called, and then they go fight them. Like, there's no impact.
Yeah, it just like
Nothing.
cuts from a conversation with Mulan and the general straight to there.
Yeah, I'm just like, how is this as effective?
It's not. Not even close, bruh.
It's, and I think that's when they do the Mongol fight scene, right?
I think so. Yeah, they're like
Or is it the
fortifying it.
Hans or the Mongols? Which one is it?
I think they said Mongols in this one, though it's Hans in the
Okay.
original.
Okay, so the Mongols, yeah.
So our characters are fortifying an outpost, and then they decide not to, I guess, and they go fight on the field instead.
Yeah, they fight in like an open field, yeah.
hmm You want to talk about the fight at all?
What about it? How she just teleports behind from fucking nowhere and fucking what part of it
It's like a whole
changed?
thing because we have like their cavalry breaks off, so
Hmm.
our general sends our cavalry after them, and I was like, "Oh, this seems like a bait to me," and I guess it wasn't really that intention, but they still kill like practically everyone in the good cavalry with arrows,
Yeah.
and then after that, um, we get a boss fight with Mulan and the witch, which
Not
ends.
really boss fight.
That might as well be. And the witch is like, "You're not so different, you and I."
That's later, James.
Nah, it's here, isn't it?
No, it's later, James. What happens here is she says, "What is your name?" and then immediately sniffs her out as a girl. Like immediately. It's like, "Oh no, you're not. You're a girl. Why are you pretending to be a man? Be a girl. Be a girl. Be proud of who you are." And then leaves.
Exactly. You're not so different, you and I.
No, later
You
on she
you
says
have
that
the
line.
chi, I got the che. Oh,
Later on she says that line during the finale.
oh, I forgot she actually has to say it too. But
Yes.
it's definitely implied here.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
they're
she goes
also
on
on
about
like ice, I guess.
it's like ice, and the movie suggests that what's going to happen is Mulan's going to fall into the water, but she doesn't.
It's like yellow water and there's steam everywhere, so
It's
I
I
think they
don't
just
know.
wanted the drama of like someone walking on ice that's cracking, but they didn't
Yeah.
have any way to fit it into the story, but that won't stop them.
Also, it's just like it implies like, oh, she's going to fall into the water and then be reborn. But if she got wet, then that's just no.
Right.
Literally, our main character cannot be harmed.
Yeah. Oh, and the Phoenix shows up too, of course.
Oh yeah, and just so that you're aware and that you can understand it, they even specifically said the name of the name of her male form has died, but Mulan rise like a phoenix.
Yeah.
And then she gets back up and
And
then goes
takes off
back
all
and
of her
fights
armor and goes
with
back to fight. Yeah.
and has her hair down. And I want to say I do menial tasks for a living. I wash dishes and I clean floors, and I hate it when my hair gets in my eyes. So flying, and I have pretty long hair. I don't know if James has seen it in a while, but I've got pretty long hair.
Pretty long.
But imagine having like literally like
It's like
flowing
halfway down
long
her
black.
back.
Yeah,
And you know her
halfway
hair
down
is
your back.
beautiful.
Yeah, her hair is perfectly cleaned and everything, from all the showers she's taken.
Right.
Um,
Flows
but
in the
her,
wind.
yeah, flows in the wind, and like every time she does anything, her hair never gets in her eyes, and it's like, how the fuck?
Well, it kind of does, but it
Every
doesn't seem
time,
to inhibit her at all. I'm watching it right
no,
now.
it doesn't like block out her eyes at all. It gets near her face, but doesn't get on her eyes.
Well,
Like
just during the quick
if
bits.
if I move my hair even slightly wrong, my hair just plops right over my eyes and I can't see shit.
Well,
It's
clearly you're not as talented as Mulan.
you know what? I have a hunch. She's using her chi to keep her hair out of her
Oh,
eyes.
it's like constantly force pushing herself in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
I dig it.
Yeah.
But anyway, she gets back.
Look,
She does some
yeah,
combat, and that's when
she does some sick ass combat, bro. She's
oh
so
yeah,
cool.
dude,
The
she's
fight scenes
so
are so
good.
amazing.
And
Cause
then
so
we get the catapult scene.
yeah,
So the witch turns into, instead of one bird, a swarm of birds
which
and
she can
starts
also do.
attacking everyone. So they decide the best way to protect themselves from this is to make a little shield fort out of their shields. So the Mongols use this tactic while they're all grouped up to just get a catapult, light some stones on fire, and then catapult the big group of shielded guys. At this point, our soldiers don't think, perhaps we should break away and try to deal with the birds to try to
Yep.
prevent us all from dying in one shot. But they do not. Luckily, however, Mulan is not in one of these groups, so she whistles for her horse, grabs a bunch of helmets, and sneaks around behind all the mongrels. So
We aren't shown how.
I think it's important to say that they have high ground over this field that
And if I've learned
all
anything
of
from
the soldiers are in. And they
if I've
don't
learned
see
anything from
her run
Obi-Wan,
away or like gather up helmets or anything.
yeah.
She just apparently teleports. And she gets behind them, sets up all the helmets to make it look like a bunch of soldiers, and then starts arrowing down people. And then once our villains figure out what's happening, they start shooting back at all the helmets. And since now that they've knocked all the helmets down with their arrows, right? That wasn't good enough. They're not sure that they've killed everyone, so they turn the catapult around to destroy the rock that they're behind. But they shoot the catapult too far and it triggers an avalanche instead of hitting the rock all of our soldiers are hiding behind. And that's how they all, create the avalanche that kills them all.
Yep.
It's
Now, James.
truly
Wait, James.
masterful military mindset
Tell
here.
me, what part of that did good old Mulan take part? What part of that did she have an effect on?
I guess.
What part? What she shot 2 arrows, and then all of this happened because she shot 2 arrows.
Right, and because she set up all the helmets.
Well, that too. So she had all this time to set up all of this. While, by the way, they didn't kill anyone else.
Yeah. So
like only one group got, or sorry, 2 groups got hit in total.
Right, out of like 6.
Yeah. Which there was way more people, but it's.
Well, we'll give it benefit of the doubt. But yeah, so basically, for this to work out, our good soldiers have to be idiots enough to stay in the position they're in because the birds are too scary. And then our antagonists have to be dumb enough to not see Mulan gathering up helmets and not see her flank the enemy, and then also not aim their catapult correctly, and also kill themselves instead of just killing the group of the entire army of soldiers that remains.
You have more than enough men. Just
it's like
throw 5 more and then you win.
Maybe have like a group of archers keep shooting at the rocks and then finish off the army.
Yeah.
Like that is what's stopping you right now.
Yeah.
But
no, the Mongol sensed female.
Right. And killed themselves.
Yeah, literally, Mulan did not. Didn't the original? She was the one who started the avalanche.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it was because she was still hidden as a man when she did this, right?
Yeah, she they had one is like a firecracker practically that they were using.
Yeah.
They only had one left and they're like, all right, we'll aim it at the leader. And then she was like, no, and she grabbed it and she ran like right in the middle of the battlefield, like right up to the charging horsemen. And got the avalanche that way, and she got hurt.
Yeah, obviously.
Because, huge risk that she's taking, but it paid off.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh. Wow.
She sacrificed something so she could save these people that ultimately, if they found out she was a girl, would kill her.
Very much like putting herself on the line. Like, you could say she's like risking a lot back here, and I don't think I disagree with you. But like everything functioned as it probably should have, and she was the exception. Like what I'm trying to say is like everyone was performing at like a level that's expected, basically, and she is the one that like popped off and made this crazy play that won everything. In this, everyone is retarded except her, and that's why it works out.
Yeah, she literally defied orders and was like, "No, there is another way," and then did it. And this
Mhm.
one, no one's ordering her
Didn't even
around. She just
hesitate.
did it. Yeah, she's just like, "Oh, I have an idea."
Right. In
Like
this,
we
like,
never got told that she was an amazing tactician or trap setter or anything like that. She's just like, "Oh yeah, no, she could do that because she's Mulan."
well, we didn't learn that in the beginning, in the first one either.
No,
But
but at least on that one, you can come to a reasonable conclusion. Like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
yeah, this was very much like, oh, I think the enemy will be retarded if I do this.
Hmm.
Because it would have been very easy for them to just knock over all the helmets like they did and then be like, okay, I think we got them all. Hey,
Yep.
actually, maybe not. A third squad. Go check. I'm going to
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
destroying the army that is conveniently lined up for me to destroy.
Yep.
Movie's over.
But no, the movies can't be over yet, James. You still
But
got
no.
like I don't even know how much time we have. What even happens after that?
Our good guys are trying to escape the avalanche. Love
You know what I?
interest sacrifices himself to save a fat archer dude.
Yeah,
Mulan runs in with her horse, who's unaffected by the avalanche, to save love interest. Um, everyone's like, "Woman!"
yeah. Female,
and
how
they
dare you?
and
You
they
saved us, but you're a girl.
exile her.
For like
Um,
5 minutes.
after she's exiled, she's walking across the desert.
No, a mountain. She's on top of a mountain. Remember?
It, yeah, I guess it's
It
not
looks.
really sand. It's more like
It's
a
more
mountain.
stone. It's more stone than
Yeah.
sand. It's still
Uh,
stupid, but.
the witch shows up.
Hmm.
Is this when I get to say, we're not so different, you and
Yes. Now,
I?
now you can say it, James.
So she says that. She also tells Mulan what the bad guy's plan is.
Hmm.
This is important because it seems like she's switching sides, but in the next scene, the witch is back on his side.
Yep.
Mulan immediately runs to her friends and she's like, I know what I did. However, this is happening. They're flanking, or they plan on penetrating the capital and killing the emperor. And the general is like, what you did was wrong. And then they're all like, you would have believed him if he was a boy, but she's a girl, so you're not going to believe her. And he's like, you're right, I'm retarded. And then they all go to the capital together. So,
Yeah, literally. Like we're not even joking. That's the events that play out.
yeah. Let's see. Which distracts all the guards.
Yep.
Bad
Because the
men
witch
get
is
in.
actually.
The witch
Yeah.
becomes the chancellor, or the representative, or whatever,
Yeah.
and tells all the guards to group up in one area. The
Yep.
guards are like,
Well, no,
that's
she
retard.
doesn't. The emperor does. And then the only response is, "Are you questioning the emperor?" Or
Does she?
some.
I thought the emperor just asked for a few guards, and then she was like, bring all the guards down off the towers.
Sure, I don't fucking
I don't know.
remember,
It
dude.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
It's
because
all
now they're all
dumb.
traps.
We are doing dumb things to get into a boss fight.
Yes. To get to
That's
an action set piece.
yep. Uh, when all the
Mulan gets
guards are grouped
trapped.
up, our evil men come to kill them all, but luckily Mulan and her crew showed up first, and they
And
fight.
immediately the general goes, "Quick, make sure Mulan gets to the emperor.
Right,
Not just one of you guys gets to the emperor. Mulan has to."
right.
But anyways,
So the Emperor is summoned to a 1v1 with enemy boss, and
no items. Final destination.
right, and
Not even
he,
final destination. It's a James. What is it? Where are they fighting on?
uh, the construction site of a new palace, I guess.
Of some. I think it was a statue.
I can't tell.
It's
It,
not important because it's a cool setting to have a fight scene.
what do you mean
James.
not important? This is where everything happens.
No, James. It's a fight scene.
So I just watched it again, and it's
Yeah.
derpier than I remember.
Yep.
So Emperor Man shows up. with his guards. And antagonist has a bunch of archers. Archers kill all the guards. Emperor Man tears down a curtain, rips the curtain in half. This curtain is like 30 feet long, by the way, and then uses it as a weapon to knock down all the archers. Then antagonist reveals himself and is like, "Do you think I would allow you a fair fight?" And then all the archers respawn and shoot arrows at him, but their arrows attached to ropes. And they just shoot around him, and then they all run around the top of the structure and tie him up.
And instead of killing him with the
Right.
arrows.
Instead of doing something that might be intelligent. So then, let's see, Mulan and her crew are on their way, but we have enemy with a morning star and a bunch of enemies. Enemy with a morning star who is at the front of the line ends up in the back of the line, as we discussed while watching it.
Yeah, it was very weird because we saw like he was in the front line, and then like they did some parkour.
It does look like everyone ran past him. They didn't even all use parkour. But anyway, Mulan parkours the walls of this thin hallway to get past everybody. And we are baited into thinking this fight might have some stakes, because all of our friendly characters who we know very little about, except for love interest, are there. I say except for love interest. The only thing we know about him is he's love interest.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mulan goes to the palace and bows down before the emperor. The emperor isn't there, though. Instead, it's the witch. Yep. I don't remember their conversation. Probably due to a lack of caring on my part.
She says that they treated me like garbage and no one would respect me because of my chi. And then she goes, "No, see, I have all my friends. They respect me because I have chi." When no, they don't. You just have the most chi out of everybody. That's why they respect you, not because you have chi. It's because you have the most powerful chi.
I think you might be overstepping. I don't know why they respect her.
Well, I'm writing the fucking movie for them, apparently, because that's what I have picked up from it.
Because she's good. I don't know. I don't.
She has friends, James.
Now that Witch has successfully done everything for the bad guys, she decides it's time to switch sides.
Basically.
And she turns into a hawk and shows Mulan the way to
once again,
bad
Mulan
guy
being
boss
led
fight.
by a bird.
Right. Water.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mulan is being sent to the boss fight, and then the boss sees her and tries to do a sick ass snipe and shoot her, which we've seen her dodge arrows before.
Oh wait, before this, apparently the witch has a conversation with him. I don't know how it goes down, and I'm curious, so I'm gonna mute. Yeah, it's.
Is it what I said?
Pretty much. The witch is like, a woman led their army, and he's like, a girl, and she's like, no, a woman. And then he sees her, and he's like, you led her here. And she like smiles at him, and then he draws his bow on the witch, and then changes his mind and aims it at Mulan and fires. But then the witch jumps off the side, and apparently he doesn't know what the witch's powers are. So he looks away and grabs a sword, and meanwhile, witch birds in front of Mulan and face tanks the arrow for her. Mulan apparently didn't see it coming.
The other thing I was gonna say too was also like he doesn't use that sword after that too. Well, no, he used it for the fight, but like it's not an important thing to grab.
So,
am I right? Like he just goes for it for no reason at the moment. Why is his sword on the ground?
I don't know. You think that maybe he'd go to hurry up and execute the emperor, but no. So here's something I noticed the whole time.
No, remember he wanted him to die where his statue is going to be made by boiling some lava above him.
Right. They had he had like some buckets of lava delivered, and he was spilling them out into like a pool, I guess, so he could melt him. I don't know, but
I don't get the reason for it.
this is the thing I wanted to share.
Go
So
for it, man. Go
in
for it. Oh,
Terminator,
you're gonna talk about the arrow?
no, I'm gonna talk about
Okay.
the witch and the
Okay, go for it.
CGI budget. So Terminator 2 is like the first movie that comes to mind when I think of like really good CGI being implemented, and like
yeah, of course.
so the big thing with that was like the metal man, right? The liquid metal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you see him changing, right? But other times it'll cut away so that cuz it's expensive to, you know, run that to make that look good, right? And that's
Mhm.
why you have scenes where like it looks away while he's one character and then you like see a shadow moving and then it looks back and he's a different character. This movie does that pretty much every time. Like you don't ever get to see the witch transform. So like in this scene,
Yeah,
like
go for
the bird flies up, gets hit by the arrow. It cuts to Mulan running over like she's trying to catch something falling out of the sky. The bird lands in her arms, and then it cuts to a close up of her holding the witch. And I'm like, oh.
it. No. She flips around and the witch is now in her.
Let me check one more time.
Go for it.
Bird comes up, yep, hits the arrow. Mulan catches it. Oh yeah, she turns around. Oh, it's worse than I thought. You can
Why
see
did she turn?
that cuts to like behind her. You can see she's holding something feathery. She turns, the camera pans down, and then you see it's the witch. It's like
Yeah,
it works. It's not like it's overly bad or anything. But I guess
but
she transforms back into the witch when she's dead, and also they couldn't show us. They couldn't that
also the
200
arrow.
million couldn't have gone towards CGI. Oh, that's the other thing. Let me double check to make sure that's true. Just a quick double check. She spends like 10 seconds looking at the witch's dead body. Oh, the witch is alive. Never mind. So I guess she turned back into a human while in Mulan. Dude, imagine you're holding a bird and then it turns into a full grown woman and you're like, oh crap.
You would drop it immediately. You're like, oh shit.
Gross. Oh. Okay,
Does
she
it?
spends like 30 seconds holding this dead woman.
Yeah.
So,
Where's the arrow, James?
yeah, I don't see the arrow. With that said, it looks like the arrow goes into her back when she's a bird, so it could be behind her, but I don't know.
Well, then, but still, okay. So then let's talk about the other arrows where the people who came into the place got shot.
Right, let me make sure that's still accurate. So after that, she slowly walks
Enters the
into,
boss ring.
yeah, the boss arena. She sees all the dead Imperial guards. I see two arrows. I see two
arrows
arrows out of the six
out of
guards.
6 guards. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, you gotta use as many arrows as you can. You gotta reuse them.
So antagonist is just walking around and doesn't realize Mulan has entered.
Because he thought Mulan's dead from one arrow.
I guess. But he didn't hear her walk in or anything.
Yeah.
So she starts climbing to the Emperor. I'm not deconstructing the soul fight scene. Maybe Shadowversity will do it for me. Yeah, he gets out the lava, the magma, the melted rock. Evil Man teleports to the top after she's climbed it, and they have their boss fight. Does anything exciting happen here?
No.
She loses her sword to the magma, and it melts down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Phoenix shows up, and we get our sweet, sweet scene where it is behind her while it's flying, so it looks like she has wings.
Yeah.
Thanks, Game of Thrones, for that one.
It looks so cool, though. It looks so cool.
It's so symbolic because now it's like she's the Phoenix. Oh my god.
Well, she is the Phoenix, James. Don't you get it? She's the Phoenix.
She's risen up from that low point that she experienced. Remember? I don't.
I was about to say I don't remember that either.
She knocks down antagonist. He's dead, but then he wakes up and shoots an arrow at the Emperor. The Emperor catches it and looks at Mulan and then throws it in the air. And then Mulan does a backflip and kicks it to the Mongolian who has caught multiple arrows this movie, but he doesn't.
This sounds like a fucking fan fiction. Holy shit!
That's
Like,
'cause
hearing you say it is just like, that sounds like the stupidest fucking.
you can picture me saying
Imagine-
this in front of a boardroom, and then the boardroom's like, "Dude, that's garbage. What do you mean?"
Exactly. And then you
Oh.
go, no, it's gonna be really cool because it's gonna be in slow motion to really emphasize the hit. Also, they don't show the arrow going in him because, of course, not. They show the arrows in him, but they don't show it going into it.
Right. He like tries to catch it, but isn't quick enough, I guess.
Because Chi, I guess.
Because she's too good.
I bet you anything, every time that we insult the movie, someone's going to defend it, go like, don't worry, it's because of her Chi. I'm like, they put it in there as an excuse to fix any problems with the movie, but it doesn't fix the fact that the movie fucking sucks.
Right. Well, that's the thing.
You can't add a Deus Ex Machina and then not explain it and then have it be the answer to everything.
There seems to be this idea that if you explain a Mary Sue's power, she's no longer a Mary Sue, but that's not really the case.
No, it's not, because even okay. So let's say this then. Everyone here has a sword, but you have a gun. Why do you have a gun? Oh, I bought this gun. That's why I won. It's like you still have a gun in a sword fight. Like you are cheating.
Yeah.
Just because you have this item doesn't it doesn't mean you automatically get away with it.
I think I always point to like Iron Man 1 for an example, because it's like, oh, surely he won't be defeated. He's got this awesome Iron Man suit, right? He's practically a god. But like every time he does something correctly, he also gets damaged like in the next scene. So there's always like he
learned.
Clearly learning from this. Like he's got this power, but he hasn't really learned how to use it yet.
Absolutely.
I think it shows it really well, but she's just a god always.
Yeah, she's always the most powerful.
My question is just like, if someone else had really good chi on the opposing team, does she just lose?
The witch was supposed to, remember, but then the witch teamed up.
Oh, but the witch changed to sides for some reason.
Yeah, because
and then self-killed. Why?
You know why? You know fucking why, James? Because they needed a self-sacrifice somewhere in this goddamn movie.
Why didn't
they
she
needed to go through their goddamn motherfucking checklist?
And
they had to go through their because James, they had to go through a fucking checklist.
Why didn't she become a bird and then turn into a human while in the air, catch the arrow, drop the arrow, and then turn back into a bird?
You're asking questions, James, that the writers don't want you to fucking ask. Because what they need to do is do action, sacrifice, action.
I guess
that's what they fucking do with movies.
Speaking of action,
so infuriating.
Right after we beat our final boss, my favorite scene happens.
Oh, go for it, James.
We have love bait interest fighting our Morningstar man. This Morningstar man was in a chokehold before when Mulan got away, by the way, but he's still going at it. Yeah. And like love interest gets bopped in the gut and looks like he's going down, but then he retaliates and just one taps him and he dies. So, and then like you kind of get a look, he just kicks him in the face and he dies. Okay. Yeah. And then you like kind of think, oh man, everyone's dead. But then ends up all of his friends are still alive. They were just watching him fight the last guy. And then they look around and they kind of smile at each other. And then they see that the archer boy is dead. And they're like, oh man. And then he starts breathing again. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, literally. They faked out a death of a character nobody cares about.
They faked out a death of 4 characters. Told us 3 of them were just baits. And then they revived the other one.
Yeah, literally so fucking stupid.
Yep.
What a miserable fucking movie.
And then the Emperor tells Mulan that he is happy that she saved everyone and offers her a position in the palace. And she's like, nah, I need to go back to my family because I left them on bad terms. And he says, okay. And then she goes back and her family is happy that she saved everyone. And then Imperial guards show up. And the dad is like, if you want to get to Mulan, you'll have to go through me. And they're like, we don't think that'll be necessary, sir. We've come to offer her another pal's position now that she's made amends with you.
Literally, why do they wait, what? They should have left with her and been like, okay, we'll go with you so we can explain everything. But
Yeah.
the weird thing is, people in the circle town hated her. Like they obviously did not like her. Like
Yeah, but they're all really excited when she gets back.
yeah, they're very excited when she literally broke the law. They're like, "Yay, Mulan's back! She broke the law! Yay!"
Well, what's odd about it is I'm kind of under the impression that she's like the first person to get back, but
Mm-hmm.
so like
No,
I
that's not why
wonder.
they're cheering. They're not. They're cheering for no fucking reason.
I was gonna say, so do they know that Mulan saved the world or not?
No, they probably don't because
I
clearly
mean,
nobody there.
I don't
No.
think they should, but I believe that
Also,
the writers might have been like, "Oh yeah, they heard about it."
wait a minute. Didn't like other men go from that village go to fight in that war?
Yes.
So then, did any of them return?
Oh, I don't know.
We don't know because it's not talked about. Are they part of? They would have been part of the same armada that Mulan was a part of, right?
Probably.
It-
Yeah.
So then, most of them be like, "Wait a minute, you look familiar."
Maybe
Like
most of them are dead. Yeah,
they
you're
died
right.
on.
Most of them should be like, huh, she looks kind of like that neighbor girl.
Yeah, exactly. But
Oh,
no, they all cheer for her because she came back. I don't get why they're cheering.
I forgot.
She broke the law.
Before Mulan went back to the town,
Mhm.
Love Bait was like, "You didn't say goodbye to me," and then she's like, "Goodbye," and he's
And
like, "Wait, hold my hand," and then she touches his hand, and then leaves.
yep, no kiss because we can't have kissing.
I mean, I don't need there to be a kiss, but I'm just so confused.
I would have laughed if they kissed. I would have been like,
I
that's the
I don't know
like
what was supposed. I don't
that
know
is
what
the
was going on.
because they wanted to be like, no, see, she's an independent woman.
Oh, I also want to share. This is super minute,
Yeah.
but absolutely a nitpick by all definitions. But Mulan's sister is doing the trial to be for the for the matchmaker,
Yeah.
and in the middle of it, someone yells Mulan, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Mulan is back." And then we cut outside to see Mulan's not there yet, and no one knows she's coming.
Yeah.
But
It's
then on
very
top of that, when I assume a guard must have seen her and yelled Mulan, which okay, fine. But what I
what
like
guards.
about this is she walks out on the matchmaker and then goes to greet her sister. And then Mulan is
Oh
like,
yeah.
"How are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm great. The matchmaker found someone for me." And I'm like, "Wait."
You're right. She technically like was still doing it, but she's like, no, I completed I completed it. I'm married.
Was she like going for round 2 or was she just practicing? Like I don't understand.
She
She's
was
like,
going for a
"Yes, the
new
matchmaker
personal
found a
best.
boy for me. He's cute and he isn't afraid of spiders." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess we've tied up all those loose ends then."
I'm glad we got that part over. The funny thing is to me, it's just like when you said round 2, it's like she's trying to go for a personal best.
Right.
How subservient can she be?
She's like, she got like a really good husband. She's like, "No, no, 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 no. I want the emperor to want me. Let me go again."
I'm going.
She like pours like 50 glasses of tea in under a minute while making literally zero sound. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the one.
The emperor only came by to pick up Mulan's wife or Mulan's daughter or
Right.
fuck Mulan's sister, and then goes like, "Oh yeah, as for you, execution."
Jeez.
I don't care. You literally like broke the law. Die.
I mean, I don't know. It's
We got through it though.
we got through it.
How long?
Oh,
How long
and
was
she's
this episode?
awarded a new sword.
Oh yeah,
It has the 3 virtues,
4 virtues,
but
James.
also a 4th one, which is duty to family.
Because obviously she was so loyal to her family.
Well, that's the thing. In the original, it was like solely because she wanted to protect her father, but in this, it's like barely touched on.
Oh, also,
It seems like she just goes because she feels like she has to go.
also a reminder that in the original, from what I remember, she comes back home with these items and gifts, and instead of she presents them to her father to be proud of her, and instead her father puts them aside and hugs her because he loves his daughter more than he would love any worldly possession.
Right.
But in this one, it's cool, new sword. Thanks, Emperor.
Right. It's also in the last one they offer her the same another palace position, and we kind of assume she takes it, but she goes back to her family to like give them the gifts and say hello.
Yep.
But in this one, they have to give us the same drama twice by being like, "Will you accept this position?" And she's like, "No." And then later they're like, "Will you accept this position now?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's
Oh, and then we get to see our phoenix again.
one more time we
Yay.
got to see the phoenix
As it flies
because we
into
have
the
to
sun, hopefully to burn and die.
hopefully to cause the sun to explode and destroy everything.
Yes. And then we roll credits where we get to hear songs from the original Mulan.
Butchered.
Yes. Sung by different people. I wouldn't say butchered. I think they're okay, but
You would have liked them better
I
in the
don't
movie.
like them. I would have liked the old ones better.
So I think that's it. Did we do it? Did we get through it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. That's all
I
I
only
got.
got. I think I pissed maybe one time, to be honest. Like I only got actually infuriated once.
It's still kind of going over me.
So I think this is the part where we give it a number, but I don't even want to give it a number.
It doesn't deserve a number.
It doesn't. It doesn't even deserve a rating. But because we have to do it for historical documentary,
Right.
trash.
0 Mushus out of 1.
Oh shit. You gave it a little more respect than you should have, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully next week something more positive. We promise. But we had to talk about
We
this.
promise, hopefully, something.
You want to do the outro, James?
We have an outro.
Now we do.
Oh, how's it go?
Did you stop recording?
No, how's the outro go?
That was the outro. That's the joke.
Have a good day, everyone. Please don't spend $30 on this.
We didn't, by the way. We pirated it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I only acquire movies through legal means.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yep. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yo-ho.
Apparently there's a Facebook group called Give Us a Refund for Mulan. I would recommend joining it.
Really?
Yeah, that's what one of the reviews I read said.
Yeah, do that, or just wait till December where it will be free, quote unquote free.
You deserve a refund.
Or don't even watch it.
Loyal viewer, if you spent money on this, I didn't even spend money on this, and I feel like I deserve a refund.
I want an apology.
I would like a formal apology.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, y'all have a good night.
Good night, everyone. We will see you next time.